Welcome to Mr. Mover Manager Help. Today we are going to talk about the capacity calendar. From this screen, we will show you how much capacity you have booked compared to manpower you have available on any given day. When you see a day like June 14th, you'll see a percentage. This percentage represents how much local business you have booked compared to how much manpower you have available on that day. As the percentage gets higher, we change the colors of the days to represent how full you're getting, so it's very easy to see when you're reaching your capacity. When you select a day by clicking on it once, you will then see at the bottom half of the screen all the jobs that you have booked either locally or interstate for that day. When I select June 15th, on the bottom you'll see two jobs we have that are booked for the 15th that are local moves to be done by local crews. The second half of the screen represents any interstate shipments that have some activity happening on this day. For instance, George Jetson here, he is loading on this day in Grafton, Wisconsin. Within each one of these tables, we offer a mouse over on most of the fields to give you additional information. For instance, on the addresses, if I hold my mouse over the address field, it will pop up a window giving you the actual address for both origin and destination. If there was any extra pickups or deliveries for this customer, they would also show up. We have a requested start time. When you click over the weight, we're going to show you the cube, the weight, the density, number of pieces, any kind of packing that's required. As far as the vehicles, if there was any special vehicles requested for this job, it would list it. For instance, on this particular customer, the salesperson is requesting a straight truck. Same thing with the men. If there's any special men required, let's say packers or systems furniture installers, they can select it here and you can see it. From this same table, we also can show dispatch whether or not they need to dispatch this job. If there is any yellow on the line, as we see on the second line here, that means that dispatch has not assigned this job to a truck yet. As you can see, 0 of 1, and no men have been assigned. As compared to the first job, Glenn Closer, that has been dispatched. And if I hold my mouse over the trucks, we'll actually show you the truck and crew that's been assigned to this job. We have the same feature for the bottom table, the interstate shipments, showing that this shipment currently has not been assigned to a driver. If this shipment would have been assigned to a trip by yourself or assigned to a Van Lines carrier, you would have entered that into the customer file and it would show up here so that dispatch would know that this customer has been assigned and handled. To open a customer's file from this screen, you have the ability to either double click on the line for the customer, or you can right click and you can print paperwork out for this customer, open the customer file, indicate that the customer knows their start time, that they could expect a driver to appear at their house. And by selecting this, what happens is we will change the file name to red so that everybody knows that the customer's been told their start time, that they can expect their crew to arrive. On the calendar itself, you have the ability to right click on a day and we give you some more information. For instance, here we're telling you that on June 15th you have 4 employees available for work that day. You've got 2 jobs booked. Here's the total revenue, 4 local moves on that day. If you wish to create a new local customer file from here, you can simply click this button. It'll create a new file that you can enter in a new customer, and it'll automatically set the move date to June 15th. You can open up local dispatch from here, view the daily summary, which we'll go into later. If you create a new, you can create a new interstate customer file from here, interstate dispatch, the interstate summary, view resources. The daily notes tab allows you to create notes for this specific day. Clicking on this field will bring open a window that you can type in anything that you want and it'll show up on the calendar. So I'll save and close this, and now you can see anything that I've typed in will show up right here. Another feature I just want to show you is if you have a lot of notes, we're just going to type in some gibberish here. If there's more notes than will fit on the screen, we will turn the text blue so you know that there's actually more notes than you can see on this little bit of space, so that you know that you need to actually go into the daily notes and view the whole note. I'm just going to go back in here and clean that out. And we'll just keep our original notes in there. There we go. Now, besides that, if I right-click, you have the ability to block a day, and what that means is we're going to put a B here, and if I get off this day, it's going to turn it red. And what that means is it is now impossible for sales to add any more local business for June 15th. It's going to pop up a message when they try to saying that this day is blocked, please select another. If you now want to unblock the day, you simply right-click again, and you'll see now it says unblock local for this moving company. The next option you have is you can mark this day as a holiday, and the reason you would want to do that is within the employee section, if an employee gets paid for holiday pay, you can indicate that for an employee, and we will look at the calendar. If you've got this day marked as holiday on their employee hours report, we will show that he gets paid 8 hours of holiday pay. We'll give you a few options as to how your calendar is viewed. Up here in the top left hand corner, if you only want to see your local business, you click this and it'll only show you your local. You have the ability to only see interstate, or both if you want to see both. You also can use either employees or vehicles to determine what your percentage is for capacity. By selecting vehicles, we're going to look at your vehicles and determine the the vehicle hours available compared to vehicle hours that have already been booked. What I found, most of my customers use the employees as a guide. Besides clicking on a date to select what you want to see on the table down below, you also have the ability to use the calendar right here to change the dates that you see on the screen. You also have the ability to determine how many weeks you see on the screen. If I only want to see 3 weeks, you can change it and then you only see 3 weeks. The reason why you'd want to do that is as you have more and more customers listed on a given day, you would run out of room down here and have to use a scroll bar to see all the customers. So as that gets bigger, you can reduce the number of weeks that you see so that you see more of the customers down below here. If you don't have as many customers, you can set it to 5 weeks and just see more of your capacity for that given period of time. If you have multiple companies within Mr. Mover Manager, you have the ability right here, it'll list all the companies that you have, and you can specify which companies you want to see on the calendar at any given time. The Resources button will open up the resource window so that you can set up and establish the employees that you are going to be using on this day. We also have a Summaries button where you can see the daily summary or the interstate summary. Another way that you can change the dates that you see on your calendar, if you click on the up or down arrows on the sidebar, that will move your calendar 1 week. So if I click on it here, it moves it 1 week. If you click on the bar, it moves it 1 month, up or down. So I'll just go that, okay. What you should not do is highlight a day and use your scroll mouse, because every click of your mouse will have the software try to refresh for that week, and it takes a long time. So get used to using the arrows or the calendar here when you're looking for a specific day. That about does it. Thank you for your time, and I hope that helped.